I created a fake online life and catfished my ex's new girlfriend. I did something I'm not proud of, actually. Scratch that. I did something awful. And the messed up part? At the time, it didn't feel awful. It felt satisfying. Because I catfished my ex's new girlfriend. Yeah, I built a fake life online just to mess with her. And even though it's been years, I still don't know if I did it out of pain, jealousy, or just because I wanted someone else to feel as small as I did. I'm 23 now, but this started when I was 19. Back then, I thought I had everything figured out. I thought Jake, my ex, was it for me? We'd been together for almost 2 years. He was older, 21, funny, that cocky kind of confidence that makes you feel lucky just to stand next to him. He played guitar, had tattoos, and always knew the cool spots to hang out. He made me feel like I was living in some indie movie where I was the lead girl. But here's the truth. Jake wasn't some dream boyfriend. He was charming, yeah, but he was also selfish. He loved attention. From me, from other girls, from literally anyone who'd give it to him. He'd flirt with waitresses right in front of me and then laugh when I called him out, like I was just being too sensitive. And still, I stayed. Because when he did focus on me, it was addictive. He had this way of looking at me like I was the only person who existed. And when you're 19, that look feels like oxygen. Then, out of nowhere, he broke up with me. No big fight, no cheating scandal. Just a text one night. I don't think this is working anymore. 2 years together and that's all I got. A text. I was devastated. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. My friends tried to distract me with nights out and dumb movies. But all I could think about was him, where he was, who he was with. And then, I saw her, the new girlfriend. Her name was Hannah. She was everything I wasn't. Blonde, bubbly, always posting gym selfies and pictures of smoothies with inspirational captions. She had this perfect smile, the kind of smile that made other girls secretly hate you. And within a week of dumping me, Jake was all over her Instagram, kissing her cheek, posting her in his hoodie, writing captions like, "Finally found my person." That broke me because he never posted me, not once. In 2 years, I was basically invisible online. And suddenly with her, he was this devoted, proud boyfriend. It felt like he'd been saving all the love I begged for and just handed it to her on a silver platter. And here's where I became someone I don't even recognize. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand her, really. Her perfect little life, her perfect body, her perfect relationship that used to be mine. And one night, sitting in my room scrolling through her feed, I thought, what if I messed with her? What if I showed her she wasn't as untouchable as she thought? That was the start. The seed. The thought that grew into something way darker than I ever expected. At first, it was just a joke in my head like, imagine if I made a fake account and slid into her DMs. But the more I thought about it, the more it started to feel like an opportunity. So I did it. I made a burner email, found some random girl's photos on Pinterest and Tumblr. Not too glamorous, not too plain, just believable. I called her Sophie. Sophie was everything I wasn't. Confident, outgoing, the kind of girl who wore messy buns and vintage t-shirts, and somehow looked cooler than anyone else in the room. At first, I just followed Hannah, liked a few of her posts, nothing big. But then she followed Sophie back, and that tiny little notification, "Hannah followed you," felt like a victory. I started small, commenting things like, "Love this dress," or "Your hair is amazing." She responded with smiley faces and hearts. It was innocent, normal. But then the DM started. She messaged Sophie one night. "Thanks for the support, girl. You're so sweet." And just like that, I was in. Talking to her was easier than I thought. She opened up quickly about school stress, her gym routine, even little fights she and Jake had. She told Sophie things she probably wouldn't post publicly, and I soaked it all in. Every detail about their relationship felt like stolen treasure. He was taking her to the restaurant he'd promised to take me to. He was buying her flowers, something he never did for me. Every word was a reminder that he'd given her the version of himself I'd begged for. And the more it hurt, the more I doubled down. I made Sophie into a full character. She had a backstory. Art student, lived in another city, had a dog. I'd Google random apartments and pretend they were hers. I even downloaded pictures of iced coffee and notebooks to make her feed look real. And Hannah loved her. She called Sophie her Instagram bestie. She told her things she didn't even tell her real friends. And I loved that. I loved being trusted. I loved being let into her life, even if it was under a lie. But here's where it got messy. Because I didn't just want access to her, I wanted to break her. It started small, planting seeds. Sophie would casually say things like, "Are you sure Jake's over his ex? Guys move on fast, but sometimes not really, you know?" Or, "Funny, I thought I saw him out the other night when you said he was with you." Harmless little doubts, but they worked. Hannah started asking questions. She got insecure. She'd message Sophie at 2 a.m. like, "Do you think Jake really loves me? Sometimes I feel like he still has feelings for someone else." And I'd fuel it. I'd say, "Girl, trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is." I was basically poisoning her relationship from the inside out. Then came the moment that still makes me sick to think about. She sent Sophie a long message crying about how she felt Jake wasn't as present anymore. And I, as Sophie, told her the truth, or my twisted version of it. I said, "Honestly, I heard things. I think he's still hung up on his ex. I think you're just a rebound." That was it. The match that lit the fire. Because the very next day Jake posted some angry rant on his story about people trying to ruin happiness and fake friends spreading lies. And I knew Hannah had confronted him because of me. And let me pause here and ask you something. If you were in my shoes, heartbroken and jealous, would you have done it? Would you have taken it that far? Or would you have swallowed the pain and let them be happy? Because I still don't know if what I did makes me human or a monster. At first I felt powerful, like I'd finally gotten revenge. But then the messages stopped. Hannah blocked Sophie. Jake blocked Sophie. The fake account was cut off. And suddenly, all I had left was silence. No updates, no drama, just me, staring at my phone, realizing I'd burned the only bridge I had into their lives. The guilt hit me slowly. First it was just little thoughts. What if she tells her friends? What if she figures it out? What if someone connects Sophie back to me? Then it grew heavier. I started checking my phone obsessively, convinced I'd see a DM from Jake like, "I know it's you." I deleted the account, but I still felt paranoid, like the lie was following me. And the worst part? I saw Hannah in person once, at a coffee shop near campus. She looked smaller somehow, quieter. She wasn't with Jake. She was sitting alone staring at her phone like it had betrayed her. And for a split second, I thought about walking over, telling her everything. apologizing. But I didn't. I walked past her, heart racing, pretending I didn't even know who she was. Because admitting the truth would have destroyed me too. Here's the ugly truth. I don't know if I regret it. I regret hurting her, yes. I regret being that person. The liar, the manipulator, the snake in the grass. But do I regret the satisfaction I felt? Do I regret the tiny piece of revenge against Jake? Honestly, no. And that's what scares me. Because what I learned is this. When you're hurt, when you feel replaced, jealousy can turn you into someone unrecognizable, someone cruel. I wasn't born manipulative, I wasn't born a liar, but heartbreak carved out a darker version of me I didn't know existed. If you're still watching this, tell me honestly, do you think this was revenge or just cruelty? Seriously, leave a comment, because I've lived with this for years and I still can't figure it out. Last month I saw Jake again, randomly at a concert. He wasn't with Hannah, he was with another girl. A new one. He looked happy, the same cocky smile, the same tattoos. Like nothing had ever touched him. And you know what's wild? For half a second I wanted to make another Sophie, another fake account, another lie. But I didn't. I went home, sat on my bed, and realized maybe that's the only progress I've made. So yeah, I catfished my ex's new girlfriend. And even now, years later, I don't know if that was me protecting my broken heart, or me proving I could destroy someone else's. That's my confession.